Dad's Gone Bad Gaming. Like and subscribe.
Tonight, I'm going to share my experiences with the Interceptor update in No Man's Sky. I'm going to share two different ways I've used to find the Sentinel Freighter Assault missions in Dissonant Systems with corrupted Sentinel planets, which is where you can find the crashed Sentinel Interceptors. I will show how these missions are triggered from space, but I'm going to start with showing how they are triggered from the ground. First, I'm going to need to find a Dissonant Star System to trigger the Sentinel Freighter in the Euclid system on the planet Igao. I really pissed off some Sentinels and then hopped into my starship, which triggered the Sentinel Interceptor event, and then it was off to the races. On wave 3, they had 3 of them come down. I found that their shields were slightly weaker than the solar ships would be. However, they regenerated very quickly, as you can see right there. I also found that they had a lot of hull, so they definitely were harder to shoot down. I tried to keep control of the fight and keep it inside of the atmosphere so I could get all the way up to 5 stars and not have to worry about any weird glitching from system issues as compared to planetary orbit issues. After the 5th wave of shooting down interceptors, my shields are getting pretty beat up. I really should have recharged them by this point, but I didn't. Anyway, moving forward, I managed to destroy all of the fighters, and at that point I was like, okay, it's freighter time. I can hear it. I could hear it in the background, and it suddenly glitched in like super close. I'm like, oh my god, my shields are really low. I better run away and recharge them. So then I came back in and did a series of strafing runs. I'm going to show a more detailed video of the actual fight with the freighter in the second part when I triggered the freighter from space. And I really wanted to focus both on getting the fight from the ground into space and then blowing this thing up and showing the results of that. So after several shield recharges, I finally blow this thing up and cause the Sentinel forces to retreat. I also get a rare item, a Dreadnought AI fragment, which is what you're going to use to locate the interceptor on the planet below. So I go into my inventory and I activate the search archive, which shows me the crash location of an interceptor on the planet below. You can see in the lower left corner the coordinates, the glyph portal coordinates if you wanted to get to this planet to get this interceptor. It's a pretty cool one. It's B class, but you still have to go into your inventory and go to the Hylian brain, and then you're going to activate the probe subconsciousness, which is going to execute a scan, which will help you find a monolith, which we can bring the Hylian brain to and exchange it at that monolith for a harmonic brain. You install the harmonic brain and then you can add the ship right into your inventory. I've noticed that you can go over the 9 slots, so they're definitely having extra slots for these, but this is a B class with 2 supercharged slots in it. It's pretty cool, and this is what it looks like when it's up in the air. But because this is a Red Star dead system, so there's no living frigate, there's no glyph portals, there's no unique capital freighter, there's no trading outpost, there's no starbase. But now, Regrange does have something to offer in the form of a corrupted Sentinel planet, which is the home to Crimson, a B-class Sentinel Interceptor right here. And you can see the glyph portal coordinates in the lower left-hand corner there if you want to come here and grab this ship. Just remember that there's no glyph portals in this system because it's dead. So let's move on to the Sentinel Freighter Assault triggered from space. Next up is Omgrep, a 2-star economy, 3-star conflict dissonant system. So I roll right up to the starbase and shoot a rocket at it just to trigger it, and bing, there's your 1 star. So you trigger it from space by shooting rockets at the space station in non-pirate systems. If you shoot them at the pirate systems, the Sentinel will not trigger. I wade through 5 waves of interceptors and then finally see the Sentinel Freighter for the first time. I begin with doing strafing runs, going along the sides to knock out the different laser systems, which do a good amount of damage. You can't sit still there or you will get shot up. I've been using my squadron to cover my back with the incoming fighters, which would free me up to do the damage to this freighter as I go. Once the gun systems are down, I'd like to come in low and strafe along the side of the ship and just cycle through my weapons as fast as I can to do as much damage as possible. It also helps with the damage from spread weapons like the positron ejector, and it gives you a nice close-up view of the ship. I continue to pick off the last of the weapon systems in repeated strafing runs. Sentinel freighters have a whole bunch of hull points, so it takes a while. You have to really grind on this, strafing run after strafing run after strafing run. But you will get there eventually, as long as you remember to keep recharging your shields. I will have to say I'm really thrilled with this update, and it's very satisfying when you blow one of these freighters up. It's just wonderful. Boom. As with the previous freighter, you get a Dreadnought AI fragment, which you can then use, go into your inventory and activate it and use it to find the crashed ship on the corrupted Sentinel planet within the system that you are in. And this one is C-Class. Like with the others, you have to take the stuff out of its inventory, put it into yours, and then go into your inventory and look at the Hylian brain, which should say give you a scanning option to launch a probe. You do so, and it'll bring you to an alien monolith where you can go and you can exchange the Hylian brain for a harmonic brain, which is what you need in order to take control of that ship. Once you have the harmonic brain, you take it back to the crashed ship and you put it into it and you install it, and you have the option to claim it. You don't have to purchase it, you can just claim it. As expected, this one does have one supercharged slot on board, which is absolutely awesome, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what it looks like when it takes off, because it's all compacted down. I think this thing might have a surprise for us. So I hop inside and I admire the awesome cockpits. I love what they did with this. This is just fantastic. But now here comes the moment of truth. I switch over to third person view and I take off. Let's see what this thing looks like. Oh, that is so cool. Oh, I love it. I totally love this thing. This is amazing. Look at that. Oh, that is super cool. Cool. Okay, so we got two different weapons, the rocket launcher and the Sentinel cannon. Look at it. It's just amazing colors, and oh my god. See if when it all compacts down when it lands. Oh, that is so awesome. Oh, I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep this one and raise it all the way up to S-Class. Man, that is cool. Here in OMGREP, I decided to give this system the full workout and look for all the unique features that were possible in this system. Here's what I found. Here we have OMGREP's resident freighter hiding behind a plasma lightning cloud. That is so cool. This thing is a Star Destroyer style, which is very excellent. It is A-Class, and it is probably the closest thing to a Star Wars Star Destroyer that I've seen so far in all of my travels. It's perfect. So I went back down to the planet to look for the glyph portal. So here we go, looking for the monolith, which is the first step in getting to the glyph portals of each planet. I also want to set a base up there. I get to this one and there was a bit of a surprise. I did not expect this. This particular one asks me a question, and if I choose to cooperate and give the multi-tool to it, in turn it will give me a new one back. And it looks like this. It's a B-Class, the Shavad's Ozone Blaster. The last unique feature of this star system is the sleeping Lodmayonov, this system's resident C-Class organic frigate. I found the glyph portal in Igao and I built a base there so I could get back there through my own portal network. Then I set off an echolocator and found the Sentinel encampment on the planet. I collected what I could out of all the wheelbarrows at the base, and then I went over and examined the multi-tool container. I quickly find the code and I deactivate the multi-tool seal, and I go over and I check out the multi-tool. Turns out that this is a C-Class Sentinel pistol, Silhouette of Thought. I grab the multi-tool to add it to my collection, and then I seek out the Dissonant Spike, but I'm going to save the results of that for the next video because it's cool. So I head back to my Portal Glyph base and I take a ride on the Portal Glyph merry-go-round. So in the Explorer's treasure chest we found today the C-Class Sentinel Interceptor Fire. We also found the C-Class Silhouette of Thought Sentinel Pistol. We also found Ishavad's Ozone Blaster found at the monolith. We also found this A-Class Imperial Star Destroyer, as well as the sleeping Lodymyonov, the C-Class organic frigate in this sector. I hope you found this video interesting and helpful in your own exploration of No Man's Sky's Interceptor update. And stay tuned for the next video where we take a much deeper look at trying to find S-Class Sentinel Interceptors. Have a good night. This is Dad's Gone Bad, signing off.
Dad's Gone Bad Gaming. Like and subscribe.